Welcome everyone to my new tutorial video presentation for BingX exchange, how to trade on derivatives markets. Scrembo here from Emotional Crypto Trading. It's my pleasure to share with you this step-by-step presentation and talk about every single little detail as a complex presentation. For any questions, make sure to ask me and let's get started. So the first thing you need is obviously resources in your account. You want to deposit your resources in your fund account, which is a place that is usually a main dashboard area of your resources from where you have to move your money transfer into the futures account. Futures account stands for the derivatives trading, right? So we got the perpetual futures, and this is simply the connection between. You want to go to your transfer, and then from fund account, which must be the first, you want to select the coin, usually USDT, which is what you need to have in your fund account, towards the USDT M perpetual futures. Perpetual futures means that the futures contracts never expire. You don't have to bother with that. Simply you trade that cryptocurrency's real price on a futures contract that never expires. Beautiful. Now we got to transfer everything that's located in the fund account, confirm that, and it's just an internal movement. No transaction fees must be paid. Everything is free. You want to verify that in your futures account, and that's where you need to have your resources. Real resources and the VST, which stands for the coin that is utilized for demo trading, right? So the VST can be utilized for demo trading on BingX futures. I'm not going to talk about it, but the idea is simple. USDT, going towards the derivatives top left corner, this is the next step you want to do once you got your resources in your futures account. USD M perpetual futures. That's what you would like to go for. This is basically the place we are actually trading with leverage on the futures market with derivatives on BingX. You have a main trading area as a dashboard area. This is what you see at the moment with quite a lot of information out there. I'm going to walk you step by step into the whole process. The first thing that you care about is the assets you are trading, which is always on the top left corner. At the moment you're looking at the BTC against USDT, but it's quite simple. You want to make sure you're located on the USDM, which stands for your type of trading with USDT. Then you would like to search. You either search the type of trading you would like to do. For example, let's say, XRP, and then we get the XRP against USDT or the XRP against USDC if you're running on USDC fiat currency. However, I'm suggesting you to be on USDT, which has much better volumes. Now you can add your asset to your favorites by clicking on that little star out there, which will add to your favorites bar at the top of the page right there. This is simply a very useful tool as well. And then you want to click on that if you would like to move over XRP USDT and simply trade on that asset. This is the first thing you want to make sure you actually verify on which asset page you are and change between the assets. From the top left corner, you just click on their name, search, or simply find the top ones from the volume standpoint. Getting back to the BTC one, or actually let's stay on the Solana's one for the moment and handle the process from there. The next thing that we actually care about is the funding and countdown. This is very important. Let me share with you where is that located. There's quite a lot here. So funding and countdown is exactly there. And this stands for the funding fees you are going to pay for your open position. Usually, the platform is charging a funding fee every 8 hours, which means 3 times a day. That funding fee percentage, as long as it's on plus and it's not a minus, the ones that are longing will pay any funding rate, which is with plus. The ones that are shorting will receive that funding rate, which means that to your total size, that specific percentage will be applied. So you either get paid that value or you simply pay that value. It's very important to calculate these things and be aware about it, because if you do a futures trading for 50 days, you're going to pay 50 times multiplied by 3, 150 fees. And if those fees are going to add up so hard, then you got to be careful on your risk management and make sure that it's worth it, of course. So that's something that I'd like to note and share with you folks, that a lot of the people do not hear about these things on the futures market, and they get trapped into paying fees over the time, which are quite expensive when the cryptocurrencies are moving hard. This fee is continuously having the ability to change. So you just pay this one when the timer goes to 0, which means that in between that time, you can pretty much trade without paying the fee. You can actually exit right before the timer goes to, the last 1 second. Simply, you just exit and you don't pay the fee, right? So you can always do these things to avoid that funding rate if you don't need it, if you don't want it. Simple. Going forward, what we care about is usually we don't trade at all with the charts we have here. We don't do technical analysis with such charts that are not useful. Why do I say that? Well, simply, we don't even have the ability to set up our settings professionally and correctly on a such chart image. We need to utilize a professional charting service, which is usually on tradingview.com. And from there, you will be able to do your professional technical analysis. We never do technical analysis on the exchange page. The exchange page is just utilized to execute trades. Been trading since 2014 full-time, and this is one of the problems people have, especially the ones joining my coaching, that they're expecting to trade directly from the exchange page. That's false. You just execute, but simply the technical analysis, the whole research, and the decisions are made on professional charting services. Beautiful. By the way, for those of you that care about education on how to become a trader, whether we talk about part-time or full-time, feel free to reach me out. We talk about it at the end of the video. Now, the next thing is you have the order book here, which stands for people willing to sell at what prices, people willing to buy at what prices, and the price in between is actually the real price of the cryptocurrency. That's the live price, which is also listed right there with its percentage in the last 24 hours movement. Beautiful. Everything is clear. Everything is fine. What about the next things? Well, you have the ability to execute your trades from the right side of the page most of the time. This is the place we care about. Open, close. This is the place where we deal with the leverage right at the top right there. Let me just, do it this way. 100x for long, 100x for short. I'm going to change that very soon. And I'll share with you. This is the place with limit order, market order, the amounts, open a long position, open a short position. We're going to take them step by step. But the idea is this is actually the place you are executing your trades. And that's it. On the other side, you still have a representation with your positions, copy orders, open orders, order history, trade history, position history, and transaction history, and all the details that you would like to discover about your trade. And on the right side bottom area below the place you deal with a trade, you got your assets tab. This is the place you see your equity, account balance, unrealized profit and loss, position margin, frozen assets, and all the things that are pretty much existing on the platform. That's the place you see details about your balance. Simple and straightforward. Let's talk about a trade. Let's see how do we open up a trade, folks. So we got the cross, we got isolated. These are the two type of margin modes. It's a huge difference in between. I have a dedicated video for this. You definitely want to check that out as well. You definitely want to see that on my channel. Cross, isolated, a huge difference. Cross means that your entire futures account is involved and considered for this trade. Isolated means that the margin you dedicate to this trade is pretty much isolated in this trade and it's not utilized in any other trades. When you do cross, the same margin is utilized throughout many other trades that you have actively running around. This is the huge difference. When you get a liquidation in a cross, you get your whole futures wallet liquidation. When you get a liquidation on isolated, you only get the liquidation on the value you have isolated for that specific trade. It doesn't matter how many other live trades you have on the futures market with how much money involved and whatnot, right? So these are the huge differences. If you don't know how to work around cross, you go always isolated, and it's simple as like that. Let's get into the isolated one and confirm. We're going to change the leverage. Like, we got to click on 100 and change basically the leverage. We're not going to trade on 100x. For example, let's put it on, let's put it on 5x long, 5x short. You can have a different value in between them. It doesn't matter. You can work on a 10x with a long and just 5x on a short. It doesn't matter at all. You have your max position value listed below, and you just confirm you're good to go. Hedge, we don't really care about, simply hedge means that you can hold both long and short positions of a contract simultaneously in two different orders, such as if I long right now Solana, what about if I'd like to short Solana by tomorrow and still have my long position active from today? If I am having hedge mode activated, then I can do that. If I don't, then it's just one-way mode. Right? For me, it doesn't matter. This is really up to you the way you want it. There is no better or worse. Depends. If you want to open up a long at this position and then short it in 3 months because you might expect a micro pullback, a small channel, you want to benefit out of that, yet you don't want to close the long you did today, then the hedge mode is running fine. I mean, that's something that you can work around and leave it like that. It's not really bother you. Open and close, these are two huge differences. We always get started with the open, and we got two possibilities, to do a limit order or to do a market order. I do have a video talking about the concepts between the limit order and market order, so you want to check that out as well in details. Today, we're going to do a market order. Very simple and straightforward. We got to set the amount of Solana, and we would like to discover the value behind that. Now, we could put simply 50%, or we can work around by cost USDT, right? Which will help us, if you click on that little arrow on the right side, you have the order mode settings. So you want to see the Solanas you want to buy. You want to see how much does it cost you in US dollar. For example, if I want to spend $25, then I have to do this. 25 USDT will be spent, and this is going to be my margin. Look at that, 25, just like this, simply. Then what do I have to do is simply open up a long, and I'm spending 25 USDT out of my 100. 25 USDT will be the cost. Open long, the minimum cost per order is 28.1. Let's take this a little bit higher. Let's put it on 30, right? 30 USDT will be the cost. We are having a estimated liquidation price at $112. It's already showing it live, which means that if I open this position and the market from $140 goes to 112, my position of 30 USDT will be liquidated. A liquidation means that I'm gonna lose my $30 if I am on an isolated margin mode. If I would be on a cross margin mode, I would have a different liquidation price because my whole balance would be part of this calculation, right? So you have much more room for your liquidation price. And then you get a different one, so then your entire futures wallet is getting liquidated. Now we're gonna get this long opened. Price, amount, margin, and estimated liquidation price. Beautiful. Confirming that. Market order filled, because it's a market order, so it's getting filled 100%, and this is where we are. 5x isolated long, position value 1 Solana representing $140. This is the average order price. This is the estimated liquidation price, and this is the risk level accordingly to the account size, the account balance. Another thing that you would like to consider is if you take this to the right a little bit more, you might be able to see that if you have everything zoomed out, but now for you guys to see, I've been zooming in. This is by margin, right? So after the risk, you should see your margin. $28 is my margin. We can add more margin. What happens if I add more margin to my position? Let's say that I'd like to dedicate to this one $50, right? So I got 28 here. It means that I have to add $22 extra margin to this specific order, and this is going to reduce my liquidation price from $112 to $90. Why is it so? Because now I've got $50 margin dedicated for this trade, so it has a lot of the room for the market to go down and still be part of this trade nicely. Confirm, and this way I got $50 margin. I'm fine with that. I've lowered my liquidation price. I can also reduce the margin, right? So anything that I add additional besides the initial size as margin can also be reduced, but you can never reduce a margin value part of your initial opening. My initial opening was 28 USDT, and I added additionally 22. So I can only reduce out of that 22. I cannot reduce out of my initial 28 anything, right? This is the way it works. If I reduce my margin, my liquidation price increases back to that level. You can always work around these things very nicely. Beautiful. We're going to let that on $50. It doesn't really bothers me. And then we can set basically, take profits, stop losses. We can work around that. You have the position take profit and the stop loss, but you also have the take profit and stop loss nested over there quicker. You also have the ability to close your position by a market order, which means to execute it at this very time, at this specific value, to close it at the best price on the market, and you're fine. That is the button. You want to close it instantly. Your position, let's say that you are in a situation where you don't want to hold it anymore. You're not going to do a limit order where you need to set the price and wait for the markets to touch the price, and then your risk might not be touched and all that stuff, right? For example, now it's 140. What if I want to set this thing on 190, right? And sell my entire position? I'm going to make $49 if the price action goes to 190. But it has to go there, right? So when I do a limit order like this, let me see. We got here amongst the open orders, and it's pretty much waiting to be completed, right? It's their average price, order price 190, waiting to be completed, waiting to be filled up. I could simply cancel this one if I don't need, and that's it. Now, what happens on the other side? What if I want to close that one instantly? Just hit the market order like that, the market button, and you're good to go. It's going to close it at this very time. But before I do that, I'd like to share with you, you can set a take profit and a stop loss. Look at that. Take profit and stop loss are very important. You want to, adjust take profit and stop loss. Simply turn on both, and then you want to see that I'd like to get a trigger price, take profit on, $195. Remains with a market order. Always and always let that on a market order. Don't put it on a limit order because you're risking not to get filled it up, right? So always market order when you do a take profit, and then you put the amount of, Solana, 1 Solana as in this case scenario. We are pretty much exiting out with that. You can also turn on the guaranteed take profit and read a little more about it. This is going to offer you 100% execution, and you're fine with that. As well, the stop loss. Well, what if the markets are going to 125? I like to get out of my trade, make sure it sits on a market order and it's never a limit order as filled on the best price of the market, and you want to go with a total size as well. Simply have your guaranteed stop loss, and you are good to go with that. So you're going to lose $15 every time for each type of order you are doing. It's mentioned what are you winning and what are you losing, then you just confirm. Once you confirm, you'll be able to see your 2 records, take profit, stop loss. You can edit by clicking on this little pen. You can delete by clicking on the recycle bin, right? So you can pretty much enjoy playing around with that, or simply just cancel all of them like that. Confirm, and you're good to go. Trailing stop loss is a different thing. I'm not going to talk about it. That's a little more advanced. Simple stop loss, take profit. We go by that, and that's the way to go around it. Beautiful. that's pretty much all, guys. I mean, this is something that will allow you to perform trades on the futures market for Solana or any other cryptocurrency that you discover. This is a complete tutorial for you to execute trades. And now let's talk about the closing of the trade. So I can either go by a limit order or a market order. I'm going to go by the market order, confirm. I'm going to lose 4 cents on this specific trade plus the fees, and I got filled with a market order just like that. So I am good to go. Now if I check into the order history, I'm gonna see my Solana long closed that I had on 5x leverage simply at $140, just like that. Beautiful. You can also look into the trade history to discover that you've lost a realized P&L. You have lost 8 cents on that, and you paid a fee of 7 cents, so about 15 cents that you lost with that. As well, you paid a fee when you opened your trade as well of 7 cents, right? So opening requires a fee, closing requires a fee, and if you have a loss, that's another pretty much fee, like a fee, but it's not a fee, you are paying. Excuse me for that. So that's where we are, folks. 99.5 in the account. That's how you trade. Open up a long, open up a short. How do you do a short? Simply, you got your open tab and you just do short, open a short. We can put here $50, right? By USDT. You always want to see that. By USDT, open up short, confirm. We got into a short position. Now we're 5x short. And I'm gonna simply do the same thing. Market order, execute this one, confirm. Getting back to the trade history, I opened my short, it cost me 7 cents. I've closed it cost me another 7 cents, and I lost 5 cents on that one. Just like that, you open up longs and shorts as much as you want and the way you want, folks. That's pretty much all. Any questions? Let me know, please. Any details? Let me know. That's all we need for the moment. This is how we're set up at a level to be able to execute trades step by step. Make sure to rewatch this video if you have questions, but at the same time, you can ask me and let me know about it. For those of you that would like to learn how to trade professionally, we got our one-on-one coaching program. This is our page describing how does it work. I'll take you by hand and teach you how to trade between 4 to 6 weeks live on Zoom conversations, one-on-one with me. I've been trading since 2014 full-time. You want to check out the video to see how does it work, and also register now for a free call with me where I can explain you more about coaching. It's important to know that trading is not gambling, and it's not really possible to work without having a complete structure of trading, which starts from the mindset, mentality, until the latest details of finance, strategies, indicators, and the way we position ourselves towards the risks in the market. Everything has a piece of puzzle which must be set in the right place. Otherwise, the whole engine is not functioning, especially for the long term. Enjoy, guys. Make sure to pay attention to education, and that's pretty much all. Have a good time. All the details can be found on scrembocoaching.com. Looking forward to it.